G'day there guys, Marky here, and welcome back to another episode of r/relationship advice. Let's go. My 20 male best friend, lesbian 20 female, said she has feelings for me. Now we are both confused. Just to give some context, I have known this girl, let's call her Kay, since we were 14. I met Kay when we were paired up in a group project for this one class. I found out we had a lot in common and we became friends. Over time, I developed a huge crush on her. Sophomore year, I asked her to homecoming and she said yes. It was a good time, but after, it didn't really lead to anything. I got the sense that she didn't like me the way that I liked her. Junior year, Kay came out as lesbian. Honestly, I wasn't super surprised, but I was a little heartbroken. I decided to put all my feelings away and just be supportive. I was really enjoying my senior year. I started dating this girl the summer before school started, thanks to Kay setting us up, and things were going well until COVID hit. My girlfriend broke up with me because she couldn't handle a relationship at the time. I was sad about that, but more upset that I was going to miss things like prom and senior trip. Kay knew that I was upset and invited me over for a fake prom, which consisted of us getting dressed up for photos and immediately going inside to play old Wii games and watch movies. She even bought some of my favorite snacks. Still probably the nicest thing anyone has ever done for me. First year of college sucked. Nothing noteworthy happened other than Kay and I going to the same school. Kay started to date this girl who I'm 99% sure hated me for no reason. They break up in the summer, and now we can move on to the important part of my story. Kay and I decided to get a place near campus together for this school year. Her mum thought that it was weird, but her dad, who's the coolest guy ever by the way, thought that it was a good idea. We had a lot of good times so far. My favorite thing about living together has been our late night talks. We talk about anything from school, sports, hot girls, bad hookups, etc. Last night during one of our talks, Kay randomly brings up that she might be bisexual. Not gonna lie, I felt a little jealous thinking that she hooked up with a random guy, but she tells me that she has feelings for me. I kind of laughed it off at first until she started crying. She said she started having feelings for me a month ago and was super confused about her sexuality. I apologized for laughing and said we'd talk tomorrow. I didn't want to make any bad decisions that could ruin our friendship. So right now she's at class and I'm just alone thinking. This is literally a dream come true. So why am I hesitating at all? I guess I don't want her to just immediately change her mind after and make things weird between us. I am anxiously waiting for her to get back. I really do love her though. I never thought that I'd have a chance at this kind of love. Any advice on what I should say to her when she gets back? I feel like I'm overthinking this. In the comments, you just gotta be honest with her. Tell her how you've always felt and ask her what she wants to do. Admit you were scared of things not working out, and try to decide if you want to try it anyway. From the tone of your post, it seems like you might regret it forever if you don't try it with her. OP says, you were definitely right about that last point. I'll always wonder what might have been if I don't try. Just go slow and treat it like a new relationship, assuming you both decide to proceed. Take the time to build this potential aspect of your relationship as strong as your friendship. Go for it, my boy. Communicate a lot with each other. If it doesn't work out, you'll at least want that friendship. You've known each other for 6 years. You guys should be pretty solid. OP says, I'll go for it. She should be here soon. And yeah, my hope is that we'll at least still be friends by the end of this. Quote, this is literally a dream come true, so why am I hesitating at all? Because you're trying to keep yourself safe, and you rightfully are interpreting pursuing someone with her as a risk. It's totally understandable to want to avoid getting hurt. If she were a more casual crush, it might be easier, but you have had feelings for her for a long time. The closer something is to our hearts, the greater its capacity is to hurt us. And rather than dismiss that fear with platitudes or uninformed optimism, I will instead say this. You are resilient. You can handle crappy times. If you decide to take the risk of pursuing something with her, and it doesn't work out in the end, it will suck. Probably big time, but you can handle that suck. You can get through it. You have gotten through other bad times in your life, and you can get through whatever outcome this may have too. On her end, she's probably feeling pretty confused. When your sexual identity runs counter to the mainstream, it's pretty easy to end up internalizing the label that you picked as part of your identity. So she has had lesbian as part of her identity for a few years. And from an external perspective, you likely have thought of her that way for some time as well. And now she's experiencing something she did not think was possible, which forces her to question that core part of her identity, which was likely difficult for her to accept in the first place. It can be a bit of a mind F, as I'm sure you can imagine, but labels are meant to be descriptive rather than prescriptive. That is, a label is meant to describe your experiences up till now, not dictate what experiences you can have in the future. It's not like you pick out a label when you're a teen and then have to stick to that your whole life. When she decided that lesbian was the label that best fit her, it was because up until that point, she hadn't experienced attraction to genders other than her own. But that doesn't mean that she can't experience attraction to any other genders for the rest of her life. It simply described what she knew about her attraction then. You can still be cautious. It's not an all-or-nothing thing, where you have to jump in without looking. You don't have to give her your whole heart, no strings attached, right at this moment. If you decide the risk is worth taking, you can take things slow and make sure you both check in with each other often. And like I said, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But you can handle that and you'll know for sure instead of wondering, what if? OP says, I appreciate the response. I think you definitely summed up my feelings perfectly, and probably hers as well. I think I need to go take a walk, lol. She texted me that she'll be here in an hour and that she's not purposely avoiding me, so I'm happy about that. And now onto the update. First of all, thanks to the people who commented on my original post. So Kay got here later than usual so she could finish an assignment and have the whole night to talk. When she walked in, we both smiled at each other and didn't say anything. I thought the mood was going to be lighthearted, but as soon as we started talking, we both got really emotional. I took the advice to just be completely honest about how I felt. I told her how I had a huge crush on her when we first met. She knew. I also told her how grateful I was just to have her in my life, and whatever happens, I don't want to ruin that. Kay agreed and gave her side of the story. The long comment on my original pretty much nailed what she was feeling. She felt like she was stuck with the label that she put on herself when she was younger. After her last breakup, she started to question herself and her feelings towards me. She eventually sorted out her feelings last month, but was afraid to tell me. We laid out some of the possible risks of being together, but realized we were probably being too hard on ourselves. So we're going to give this relationship a try. We're going to take it slow and communicate a lot about how we are feeling. We ended the night with a long hug and some tears. Yesterday morning we talked some more about things like spring break plans and when we would tell our parents and friends. Parents will come when the time is right, but our friends will probably just figure it out themselves. Honestly, there was a super awkward vibe between us in the morning. I think both of us were scared of trying to make a move or trying something different. We both thought of some fun date ideas for the week to break the awkwardness. Things were a lot better last night. We cuddled for a while, which wasn't really something new, but it feels a lot better now. Overall, I'm just hoping that I don't screw this up. We have a week off from work and school starting today, so it should be a good time. Thanks again to the few people who commented on my first post. I think I needed someone to say, go for it. And now on to the second update. Hey, I thought I'd give a quick update to the people who followed and asked to keep them updated. Probably my last post for a long time. Don't really want to keep posting my personal life on here. So Kay and I already had plans to visit our families for spring break before we entered our relationship, which sucked because we didn't want to be apart. We live like 10 minutes from each other, so yesterday we drove back in one car. Wow, way to make it obvious. I said screw it and convinced my parents to let Kay and her parents come over for dinner. Dinner was good and we all played a few games afterwards. We had to hold in our laughter when her dad made a comment about how nice it is that Kay and I have been friends for so long. I guess it's possible that he knows because that's definitely his style of humor. Now, the biggest part of the update, we had our first kiss. Kay wanted to go on a late-night drive just like we used to. I was dropping her off and she just leaned in and kissed me. It wasn't super long, but it was really nice. We have some plans for this week, but we're also broke as F, so like I said, I'm probably done posting these for now. I feel like the first kiss is a good note to end on. Thanks for all the nice comments. If I do post again, hopefully it's a positive update. And now for the final update. Hey, I saw a few notifications about new followers on this profile, and apparently my post was shared somewhere, so that's cool. I figured I could give a quick update about Kay and I. These last 2 months flew by. Relationship is going great. Not much has changed in our dynamic, except we kiss and have sex now. We just moved out of our apartment because the semester is over. I'm gonna miss that place. We were planning on telling people about us once the semester was over, but someone got drunk and posted a picture of us kissing on their Instagram story. Of course, Kay's parents saw it and told my parents because they are all friends. They were happy for us, so that's good. So yeah, that's about it. It's funny looking back at how nervous I was. Now in the comments, quote, I'm 99% sure they hated me for no reason. I think there might be a reason. He was the friend she told her girlfriend not to worry about. She got art roomed. That's so cursed. Yeah, me and my mate, we're just making an art room in our house. Nothing untoward, partner. No reason to, be worried about gay sex happening in there. No. She probably noticed the way that Kay talked about him. That's my thinking. She probably wouldn't shut up about him. Everyone has that friend where you just say, yeah, Jim and I was talking to Jim. Jim said a really funny thing. Oh my god, then just date him already. Yeah, the couch and I was just talking to the couch and couch said something really funny to me. Quote, she felt like she was stuck with the label she put on herself when she was younger. I suspect this is super common among a lot of young people. Sometimes it takes a while to figure yourself out, and there's often a lot of pressure in teenage years to lock in on a personal identity. I think some kids can get too focused on their label rather than their actual feelings, and a lot of LGBTQ kids feel like their identity would be invalidated if they ever decided to change it, when in fact, they're still just exploring themselves. Unfortunately, it can sometimes be seen as a betrayal if you realize you're attracted to or not attracted to a particular gender, especially when conversion therapy and the belief that you can fix someone's sexuality or gender is still such a big thing. This isn't just limited to kids, of course. You can be an adult and realize you're attracted to a gender that you previously never were as well. Yup, sexuality is fluid and complicated. I get it's a concern, for Kay probably, that she's enforcing the it's just a phase mentality, but it's not on her to live in some way that magically undoes bigotry. She couldn't do that anyway. She thought that it fit her, and now it doesn't. It's that simple. Our next post is titled, Am I the a-hole for not forgiving my daughter? Me and my daughter used to be best friends. We did everything together. She truly was the light of my life, but things started to change on her teens. Moodiness, lashing out, lies, etc. I just thought that it had to do with her age, that she would grow out of it. I really tried everything like family therapy, long talks about how much I loved her. None of it worked. She would either roll her eyes back or spit more of her venom. My husband works really long hours and isn't much help, to be honest. My husband is white, I am black, and my daughter is mixed. But she looks white, and she really takes after her father. This is relevant. I really don't know what I did wrong, but her dislike for me began to become pure hatred. She would question all the time how someone like me could be her mother when she was white and I was black. At some point, she even demanded a DNA test. I said sure, if she paid for it. She was not pleased with the results. She's 17 now and has begun dating this white boy, and she is head over heels for him. She refused to let me meet him and told me that having a, excuse my French here, jobless N-word for a mother truly ashamed her. I am a stay-at-home mum. I don't think I have ever experienced such pain. It's not something you want to hear from your kid. That's absolutely for sure. Long story short, I couldn't take her abuse anymore and decided to go back to my family in Cuba. My daughter couldn't be bothered to even say goodbye to me. A few days ago, I received a message from my daughter asking for forgiveness, lots of things about how she can't fit in, is in a really dark place, and just lots of excuses. It may sound cold, but I don't want to see her face. I don't care about her apologies. I thought that I had made the right decision, but my husband thinks that I should really hear her out and forgive her. My family has been harassing me to go back to Miami and make peace with her, especially mother. And friends have been reaching out and have even called me a crappy mum for not forgiving her, and how I must have done something for her to behave like she did. My anxiety has been over the roof. I'm back on my pills now. Is this really my fault? Am I the a-hole? In the comments, not the a-hole. As a mixed person, I would never say that to my black parent and would never say that to anyone, period. She's your daughter, so I wouldn't kick her out of your life forever. Not that you were implying that, but remember this and don't forgive her right away. I would suggest therapy or time away for yourself. Also, you are not a crappy mom. Yeah, if she's 17 just now, then I'd say she may grow into a totally different person than the kid who treated OP like this. I'm also mixed and cannot imagine saying this to a parent. A lot of young teens say and do horrific crap, feel bad, and learn from it, and then grow into decent adults. Definitely needs to be therapy and get into why she was acting like this, healing wounds, discussing seemingly enabling dad, etc. But nobody will fault you if it takes you a while before you even want that. I have to wonder who is filling the daughter's head with this crap. Does this come from her school, social media, etc.? It may be better if the daughter flew down to see the OP, paid for by both parents. That way she can meet her mum's side of the family and see what life is like for them to get to know the Cuban side a bit better. OP isn't required to uproot her life just because the daughter has had a sudden change of heart. Daughter has to earn it. Absolutely not the a-hole. I hate to say it, but your daughter has been emotionally abusing you, and your husband seems to be complicit in this abuse. Not the a-hole. And even attempting to defend someone who would call their own mother such vitriolic words and not even apologize for it at 17 is completely insane. Right? I could see maybe an 8-year-old doing this, though I would hope most of those would be better behaved. You could see an 8-year-old calling their parents a jobless GTA teaches kids some horrible words nowadays. I mean, sure, but those words sound way more likely to come from a teenager than an 8-year-old. Not the a-hole, but please consider it. Not for your daughter's sake, but for your own. Holding on to this pain and hurt is not good for your mental health, and if you can reconcile with your daughter, I think it would do a lot towards helping with your anxiety. Forgiving doesn't mean forgetting. You don't have to sweep the hurtfulness under the rug and pretend that it didn't happen. You can tell your daughter that she is forgiven, but that she will have to regain your trust over time by making amends for her actions, but that you are willing to give her that chance. Forgiveness is not absolving her of guilt for her actions, but instead is you making the decision not to hold on to your own pain and resentment. If your daughter truly is repentant, then by holding on to this, you are just depriving yourself of a relationship with your daughter that could be both fulfilling and cathartic. Please consider giving her another chance. If her bad behavior continues, you can always step back again and leave. But at least this way you know that you did everything possible, which may give you some peace of mind at the very least. And now onto the update. I know it's been 3 years, but several people still asked me about it because they saw my post on TikTok or other media. So I wanted to make this post to thank everybody who gave me such kind and sensible advice 3 years ago. Even though I didn't reply, I did read most of the replies, good or bad. And I'm thankful for all of you who encouraged me to give my daughter a second chance. I'll summarize it. I went back to Miami and she gave me a heartfelt apology and explained all the dark things her boyfriend was getting her into. We got into therapy once again, and she left her abusive relationship, and these past 3 years, our relationship has become better than ever. It was not easy, but it was definitely worth it. I'm glad I didn't give up. Thanks, Reddit. And now in the comments, she demanded a DNA test before she met with the white supremacist boyfriend? The abuse got bad enough for OP to leave the country, and the father did absolutely nothing about any of this? I have so many questions. I'm genuinely curious what caused the daughter to have a come to Jesus moment. She sounded absolutely terrible in the original post. Yeah, I assumed she was dealing with some deep-seated internalized racism. A lot of mixed kids get confused because they are half white, but no one acknowledges that. They don't get to be in that box and have to be half of whatever else they are. They can feel othered from that box too, and they often are. I could totally see a white-passing mixed kid wanting to just be seen as white and becoming a very racist person. Yeah, some combo of passing and maybe wanting to be considered one of the good ones, putting down her mother for not working outside the home, and being visibly black with some of the worst stereotypes about laziness, but the white supremacists would never quite let her forget she's got even one drop of black blood. Well, this is a weird-ass sentence, but thank God she was just being indoctrinated. Knowing that your own kid could become racist, whatever your skin color is horrifying and depressing, especially since 17 is basically the pinnacle of hard-headed, selfish thinking, and they may very well move out soon. The fact that she came to the realization on her own is wonderful news, though it doesn't negate the damage that she did. At least there is a path forward. If this wasn't 2019, I would think that scumbag boyfriend was a tater-tot. It's depressing how children today have to deal with people like that puddle of crap being popular, both those that are brainwashed due to their lack of judgment, and those that suffer from the misogynistic views that he imparts. What's a tater-tot in this context? I loathe to speak his name and summon the flying monkeys, but a follower of Andrew Tate. I'm happy that everything worked out, but so upset that this woman had no support and her feelings were invalidated. By her own friends and family. I'm glad she got support from Reddit, but not having support in real life must have been devastating. And that's where I'm going to end today's episode, guys. I do hope you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.